bringing to you another series of my inner views. It's not that I'm nosy, I'm just curious. I love talking with people and learning from them. There's always so much to learn. There's so many interesting people in this world. And it's always exciting when I get to have a reunion with someone who was with me when I started back in was it the late 80s, early 90s?
1994, me and you.
Okay, 1994. Okay, so that's Miss Theresa Golden, Queen Theresa Golden. You're living your life like it's golden, aren't you?
I really am. I really am.
And I tell you, social media has allowed us to reconnect. Thank you so much, Theresa. I know that you've had a lengthy talk with Joy, my sister Joy, and you've caught up with what we're doing, because when you were with me in the genesis of my ministry and outreach for women, we were called the Enlightened Circle, and we have evolved, and we are now Women on the Grow. And I know you are a woman on the grow. You are a vocal stylist. You're an entrepreneur. You're an energy worker. They call it Reiki, right?
Yes, yes.
And you're a mother and a grandmother like me. I light up when I get to
great grandmother too.
You're a great grandmother. Okay.
Yes.
and you're based still in Southern California, Theresa?
Yes. Yes, I'm still here.
Oh, wonderful.
I'm in Hawthorne.
What were some of your earlier memories of being a part of my evolution as a speaker, author, life coach? What do you remember? Have any of the teachings really been of support to you in this journey called life?
Of course they have.
Oh, come on, girl.
Of course they have. Of course they have.
Wow, Theresa. Oh my gosh, look at that. Oh, I'm so honored.
And they're not just on my bookshelf, honey. Yes.
Oh my. And your children, tell me about your children. How are they doing?
They're doing great. I have my oldest she gave me 5 grandchildren.
Oh.
And you know, she's still writing. She's had some health issues, but she's coming back. I mean, she's really doing well. And my youngest daughter just gave me my youngest grandchild. Her name is Grace Fine. Rachel has 5: Amethyst, Ahmad, Yanni, Aries, and then we had one who passed away.
Oh, really? Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah. My condolences. That is so rough.
Yeah. And then, thank you, Jewel. And then I have my youngest, my one and only son, Norman Golden. He was about 9, 10.
I remember Norman. Oh my God.
When we
He's
met.
an adult.
He's 36 now. And he's engaged to be married.
All right.
To this beautiful, I love her. Her name is Unati.
All right.
And they both are in the arts. They both are artists, actors, beautiful, just beautiful. She's a beautiful spirit. And so they're going to get, I think, I don't know what real date they're going to do, but I know it's next year.
It's wonderful that you're excited and that you love her.
I love her.
That's a beautiful
thing. She's my daughter in love. Yes.
All right.
She's giving me another daughter. Yeah, so now I got 3 daughters and a son.
All right. Now tell me about your singing career. You're a vocal artist.
Yes, I call myself, describe myself as a vocal stylist, because people always ask me, so what genre do you sing? And I was like, well, I just sing music. Because music doesn't have a genre. It doesn't have a genre. It's just music.
Yeah.
And so the genres was created so that they could put people in boxes. And you know, I don't do well.
We don't do boxes.
We don't do boxes. We do circles, but we don't do boxes.
And the circle just gets bigger and bigger.
Bigger and bigger, right. And so what I did was I said, I want to be able to honor all the music that I love, that they created and called genres. So, you know, jazz, I started with gospel, you know, that's where my family is. I'm from a family that sings. A lot of my mother, all of them sung. My dad was a singer.
Okay.
And so I come from that stock. And so I do a little bit of, if people want to know, I have to go back to that so that people can connect. But I have done gospel, jazz, R&B, neo soul, a little bit of
Who were some of your favorite singing artists?
some of my favorite singing artists.
Yes.
Wow. Well, for sure, I love the Whispers.
Oh, Walter and Scotty. Yes.
I love the Whispers.
Oh, I love the Whispers.
I really liked, I love Patty, and I don't like when they say favorites, because like I just love good music. So
well,
I would say the older ones, Patti LaBelle.
Right now, I'm on a Layla Hathaway kick.
I love Layla. India, Jill. I mean, there's a Lettucey. I mean,
yes.
Yeah. And my daughter Raquel. My daughter Raquel can like, yeah, she can blow.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I asked you earlier and I kind of got off track, but I did want to see what were some of the principles that you learned that have really helped you along the way, that you've applied. Because you know, often authors like myself, we write books and we wonder, is anybody reading it? Are they applying it? Is it making a difference? And so I would really like to know which one of those principles has been a mainstay for you.
Stay in the light. Stay in the light, keep the main thing, and never give up.
See, that is definitely one of my mainstays for myself.
Yeah.
Just learning to stay focused, learning not to be discouraged. We're living in a very historical time with this pandemic, and political craziness and fires and
racial injustice,
and unemployment and racial tension and just injustice. There's so much swirling around us.
Mm-hmm.
By you being a Reiki, what is the proper term? Practitioner?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So how would that help someone that is like really stressed, that's really just going through it right now? Because Theresa, I get calls every day, all day, or text messages. People are losing it. They're stressed, they're depressed, they're feeling oppressed, they're feeling rage, they're feeling locked in, they're feeling fearful. And I know at the core of my being, I'm a pretty optimistic person. I mean, of course, in the flesh, I do feel the tension at times. I do feel the pressure. But for the most part, I'm very grateful that my mindset and my faith are keeping me centered. Mm-hmm. You know, drinking water, doing what we're doing today, connecting with people. Yeah. Just, you know, I get up and I get dressed and I get up and I try to create as much normalcy and routine as I can, because it could be very overwhelming, you know, looking at the news and looking at social media. How are you navigating this time?
I'm navigating this time by staying focused. Mm-hmm. 2020, I said there were things that I wanted to accomplish.
Yes.
And I eliminate the media, particularly the mainstream media. I don't watch it. I go to YouTube and see what they have, little blips. It's everywhere. So and if it ain't on there, somebody gonna bring it to you. That's right. And so I kind of avoid that as much as possible. And then I go and I selectively see what I want. What are they talking about now? Because I already know what they're talking about. And a lot of it just hasn't been truthful, to be honest. That's just my opinion. And so what I do is I maintain. When it first started, I started to get really devastated, because I'm I'm an introvert, but I'm an extrovert as well.
Me too.
And I'm an empath, so I love being with people.
We're called ambiverts. We're ambiverts. Okay.
What is it?
By myself. Ambivert.
I can
be by myself, and I love being in a social setting. So I can do both, and we're called ambiverts.
Okay.
Just like ambidextrous, you can use
that. Okay.
Yeah, we can navigate being by ourselves. For some people, it's very troublesome. And for
Yeah.
some people, that's all they want to do. And there's some people who are social animals and they can't take it. They like, I got to get out. I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm good. I can do this. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I knew that I could. And at some point though, my frustration came because I knew we weren't being told the truth, and that weren't, you know, there was a lot of fear base that was happening.
Mm-hmm.
And so what that does is that takes people get their nervous system
And
gets
their
all
immune
out of whack.
and their immune system is
And their immune system is compromised with all
absolutely
the fear, the fight, fear, flight, and what is it? Flight
fear or flight.
or flight. Yeah,
Fight, no,
and
fight
fight or
flight.
fear. And so
Fight.
fight or flee. So people don't really you know, that if that's where they're getting their mainstream, like if they're getting their news totally from mainstream, it's kind of difficult to get under that, you know, that whole fear-based thing. So what I've done through this whole pandemic is I've stayed focused. I've been working on my music.
Mm-hmm.
Turn on some music.
I know it.
Turn on some music, because the music, the vibration of the music shifts everything for you. And it raises your vibration. I do my music. I just created, I did my debut single. I launched that on August 21st. I'm working now on my debut album, and that's gonna hopefully be done by December. And so I'm just, you know, but it's so music, I chant, I pray, I meditate, I study.
You know,
I give of myself. I do for people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like I kept, you know, and I got a mask, but it ain't the kind. It's a plastic thing that goes over, and I'm in compliance, but I can breathe.
Okay. I'm thinking about how when I was in college, before I studied psychology, I was studying music therapy. And one of the things I remember about music therapy is that singing out loud,
yes,
is very therapeutic. So I turn on Anita Baker, The Whispers,
yeah,
some Luther, some BB Winans.
yeah.
And I'm singing, and it just, oh my gosh, it's so healing. And then sometimes I just get in my car, open up the sunroof, and scream.
Yes.
And just exhale. But I know that the body work is also very critical. And so I want you to help my audience to understand the benefits of Reiki. I've had it done once, and I know there's several ladies in our Women on the Grow tribe who also are Reiki practitioners. Mm-hmm. But it's something that is very foreign to many people. There may be somebody watching like, what is that? I mean, I've had the healthy massages, you know, getting rid of, you know, helping with the muscle tension in the body.
Right.
Reiki, can you explain that?
Reiki is energy.
Okay.
That's what we are. We're energy.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's an extension of that. When we use our hands, it's a lot of people a lot of practitioners do you can do lay on
hands on,
or they can hands off.
Okay.
And so what happens is we have the chakras that we have the 7. We have it's more than 7, but the main chakras down them is the we call them the 7 chakras, and when they're in balance, it balances out your nervous system. Mm-hmm. And when your nervous system is balanced and it's controlled, it's not out of sort. I'll use that word. It's not out of sort. Then you can become more calm. Mm-hmm. You can you're able to be more attentive. You can concentrate better. And then the breathing, it helps people when you calm your nervous system down, your breathing, your automatic breathing kicks in better, because a lot of people are holding their breath.
Well, when I think about it, I remember, and I don't know if you had this particular retreat I did. I believe it was no, you probably weren't, because it was it was maybe the second or third retreat I gave in the mountains. And it's so funny because I look out the window now and I look right at the mountains. I remember thinking, oh, that's so far. And now I live here. But I remember taking the ladies up 7,000 feet up in Big Bear.
I was at that one.
Were you?
With the Mercedes?
And we had the 3-story cabin?
Yes.
Okay, well, the story is...
I got pictures of that too, by the way.
I would love to see it.
Okay.
But I remember I hired someone to do to do massages. I think it was Kathy Williamson. I'm not quite sure. But I had someone giving the ladies massages throughout the 3 days. And throughout the 3 days, they would take turns going upstairs, and they'd come back downstairs, and they'd be so happy and revived, relaxed.
Yes.
So by the third day, after all my teaching and loving and hugging and praying, I said, okay, it's my turn. And when I walked into the room, she said, stop. You can't come in here. I said, why? She said, your whole body is full of energy from you. You've absorbed everybody's pain. You have absorbed everybody. And she said, I can't even touch you right now. And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
And so I understood, I learned from that point on the importance of my own self-care, because I'm also an empath, and I absorb so much of other people's pain and other people's stories. And sometimes I'm like, why do I have this headache? Why is my stomach hurting?
Right.
Why is my back hurting? Why am I moody?
Yeah.
It's like, Jewel, you've been absorbing.
Absorbing, yes.
Okay. And so I remember when she told me I couldn't even come into the room. And what I realized, I was taking care of everybody first, and I wasn't taking care of myself first. And so I'm challenging myself all the time to remember that, Jewel, that I cannot, as they say, you cannot serve from an empty cup. I must make sure.
Fill your cup.
Absolutely.
And it has to overflow.
Absolutely.
You give from the overflow. The full is for you.
And that's why we had the filling station every Sunday.
Yes.
At 3:00. So we can remind everyone of this principle, because many people are walking around on fumes. They're empty. There are people that were so strong in their faith, and now that we're in this pandemic and businesses lost and people unemployed, and they can't go to the funeral of their loved ones, and they're not quite sure what's going to happen next. All of a sudden, I'm seeing people that I thought had strong faith, they don't have it. And I realized that what we're doing with Women on the Grow is being a proactive resource. Do the work before you have the crisis. Do the work before you go through the divorce.
Yes.
Do the work before you lose the job. Do the work, because we don't know how the crisis is going to show up in our lives. And if we have not been doing the work that I offer, you are not going to be able to sustain yourself. Have you had any situations in your life, Theresa, where you realize that, wow, I've done the work, or I need to do some more work because of what I had to go through?
Well, I think for one thing is when last year I ended up I went through a divorce.
Okay, I'm sorry to hear that.
And a lot of people don't know. No, it's good.
Okay.
Because it was a spiritual divorce. That's what I tell people.
Okay.
And they don't understand what that is. And I said, we love each other.
Mm-hmm.
We came together. We created this beautiful family.
Mm-hmm.
We gave them everything we had.
All right.
And so that part of our chapter that we said we came here to do was done.
Can I share this?
Because I haven't really said this publicly.
Okay.
And so a lot of people that do know, they were like, oh, and I have to take a breath. It's okay. It's okay.
You know, as I'm hearing you, Theresa, I'm having mixed feelings because on one level, I understand it totally. And then on another level, every time I hear Black families, you know, not being together, it breaks my heart. It just breaks my heart. But then again, I do understand on a spiritual level that sometimes people outgrow one another. They realize that they did until death do us part. It wasn't a physical death. It was the death of your synergy in your values, your approach to life.
That's right.
Your mindset, the values that you hold dear, take a turn, and you realize that, okay, but when I hear someone say, but we have respect for one another, we honor one another, then it's like, okay, I can breathe through that. But that's just something about families not surviving that just kind of pulls at my heartstrings.
But I think for me, I'm realizing that our families do survive, because when I went home,
it's gonna look different.
It looked different. This is what you wrote to us.
Okay.
This is what you wrote to us. The Golden family, Norman, Theresa, Raquel, Rachel, and Norman. What? You are all precious and loving. Thanks for coming into my life. I hope we share many more memories together. Oh. Thank you for contributing to the development of Success Gems. Stay in the light. Jewel, 1995.
Oh my God, Theresa. What? Girl, don't make me cry.
We are still that family you wrote about. Mm. And that's what people have to understand. It's like we don't, you know, a lot of things were given to us, socially conditioning.
Okay.
We've been social conditioned. Right. And we don't understand that okay, we're not in the same household. I'm still Theresa Golden.
Got you.
I'm like Tina Turner. They asked me when to do anything. Would you like to take your name? No, I like my name. That was a beautiful name he gave me.
Yes.
That I acquired, and I am Golden. And
gotcha.
So is my family. And we have not, I tell people it's like, we still the Goldens.
I love it.
We just Golden differently.
You're helping me, and I'm sure you're helping someone else, because when you could do it in a spiritual, amicable,
yes,
honorable way,
yes,
then that is so beautiful.
And that was so difficult for me. I tell people this all the time. Yes. It was difficult because people get a divorce and say, "Oh, he beat me. He did this to me. He cheated. He did." I couldn't say none of that. It was just we outgrew. And people don't, they say, after 43 years, could you work it out? I'm like, why you think I've stayed 43 years attempting to work it out? At some point, it's like I had to be true to me. What I came here, what I signed up, the contract I signed with the universe was to give more, was to be more. Mm-hmm. And so that wasn't happening because somebody wasn't willing to do the work. I ain't calling no names. Well, but I knew that I had done work, and I knew that there were more work for me to do. But I think
that sometimes it's just that your energy feels blocked.
Yes.
It's not that you're blaming anybody.
No.
But when you're not equally yoked, you feel like the energy that wants to come forth is blocked and stifled.
And it wants to be birthed.
I got you.
And it has to be birthed. And so for me, when I think about it and I had to reflect on it, it took a lot of courage.
Absolutely. It takes a lot of courage to be
and I knew people were gonna look at me crazy and what you doing? And I'm like, I'm just doing what
you doing you doing you, boo. and I bet you your children are in a healthy place.
Yes. And initially they had and I said, wow, if I had known, I said, I stayed. I didn't want to break up the family because I knew 25 something years in.
Yes.
20 years in, I knew, okay, come on now, Norm, this is not. And then they were kind of in their feelings about it. I was like, hold up, wait a minute. You guys are grown children. You're my
Yeah.
grown children. You're
Yes.
adult children. And I said, and I stick to make sure that all of that was taken care of, that you guys were going to be whole and complete with a family intact. And I did all that for you. Now it's my turn. And if y'all can't get on board with that, I mean, come on. And they, of course, you know, they get over it, but at some point, you know, once we had the conversations that we needed to have, you know, and they knew that the love was still there. It was like, okay, Mom, I mean.
Sure. I mean, that's just only natural to have to go through that birthing stage. Birthing is never easy or pain-free,
No.
but God bless you that you guys are on the other side of that.
Oh, yeah.
Theresa, I'm so grateful that we had a chance to talk today. And as we start to come to a close, if there was a billboard for you, you could have one billboard that you wanted the world to see, a message that you wanted your life at this point to represent, because it could change. But what would that message be that's really keeping you together and gives you strength and gives you power and gives you clarity, and just like, I just want people to understand this. Even if they don't get it now, they may get it later. But what is that thing? What is that message? What is that point of view that you would like to leave and share with the world?
Right now, what I'm envisioning is a billboard that says, because the title of my album is The Journey to Love.
Okay.
And the journey to love is the self-love.
Right.
You got to love yourself first. So it'd be the journey to love, to self-love. You got to love yourself first. You cannot love other people. That's why I can say now, I can truly, I know how I love. I love hard, I love deep. Yes. But I do that for me. And now it's even more expansive, and it's more, and more inclusive, and it's more, there's no division, because I realize that we really all are one. Yeah. One love.
Not only is there no division, but there's no self-betrayal.
None.
And I think that's difficult for a lot of us that are struggling to find that balance and to uphold what society says marriage should look like, or parenting should look like, or what your faith should look like, or what your hair should look like, what your house should look like.
Right. I think where you should live.
Yeah, I think that we are pioneers, and we are warriors, and we are stretching out into a frontier that maybe our grandmothers and elders didn't have an opportunity to do. And so it may leave our children or friends bewildered, like, what are they doing? But it's an act of self-love. Like, I realize that I have to make myself happy. Right. And so I just want to say congratulations to you as you continue the journey of self-love, self-development, and giving the world your beautiful music. Joy did share with me one of the links to your songs. So are you selling your music now? Can anybody reach out?
Well, yeah, my single is on, iTunes, and they can get it from there. But right now, what I'm really asking people to do is go on my website, theresagolden.com, or they can just Google. I'm running a GoFundMe campaign to finance, for my the production of my debut album. Okay. And so I'm asking people to help me make that happen, because I'm also, the people that are helping me, the engineers, the producers, the musicians that are going to be playing the music, I'm, that's where the funds are going to go to help pay these people, because they're, the artists were hit hard during this pandemic. Being able, so it's, to me, it gives me a lot of, I'm really happy that I can be able to pay these people. And so I can do that through the help of others. I don't have a rich uncle, but I have friends
right.
I have friends and family. So yeah.
That's Theresa Golden.
Golden.com.
And it's Theresa with an H, T-H.
Theresa, Golden,
Well,
Golden.
please extend my love to your entire family. I'm so glad that we have reunited, and I wish you all the best. You have made my heart so joyful knowing that you have still have my books and that you are still a woman on the grow.
Yeah. And I want to say to people who have not connected with you, please do. I was telling a young lady yesterday that I was going to be doing an interview with you, Jewel Diamond Taylor, today. And she said, oh, Jewel Diamond Taylor? Wow. I connected with her when I was like in my 20s, and she's in her 40s now. And I was so that you know, Jewel, you people, yeah. When you touch people's hearts, it's, you know, I say they said people come in your house, your life for a lifetime, reason, a season. When you touch, something about when you touch people's hearts or you touch people's lives, generally sometimes it's for a lifetime. That's how it's been for me.
Oh, beautiful. Ashe.
Yeah.
Bless you, my sister.
I love
Thank you so much. I received that, and I am just grateful for our time of sharing today.
Yeah.
It's been wonderful. Thank you so much.
All right.
God bless you, and stay in the light, Theresa.
I sure will.